And now, the situation with Felix and Rashford, which all depends on Felix. Felix, who insisted to Deco and even personally contacted Rashford to explain the club's project and his role in the team to the player. A large part of Rashford's chances of staying at Barca depends on Felix's decision, since he personally spoke with the player, and much of Rashford's opportunity to join or continue at Barca hinges on Felix's choice, as he was the one who called him about Barca, especially since Rashford's adaptation to the team is going very well. Felix's first phone call with Rashford took place in May. At that time, Nico Williams was Barca's first choice, and Deco was negotiating with Williams' agent. Luis Diaz was also a popular option, but signing him was almost impossible because of his price. At this stage, Rashford was in the background. He wasn't even plan B, he was plan C. Anyway, Felix called the English striker. He explained the project and his role in the team, and Rashford also knew that if he came to Barca, he would definitely be on the bench and would have a tough time making it into the starting lineup. But his interest in Barca made him willing to give up everything else. Suddenly, Nico Williams' option was cancelled after his late-night contract extension, and Deco and the sports department were left almost unsupported. Nico Williams' team had also requested a special clause in the contract stating that if Barca couldn't register Nico Williams, Barca would have to pay compensation or something like that. So, in these circumstances, Rashford was still at Manchester. At that time, he was training individually and got involved in the situation, and honestly, reaching an agreement with a player like that is really easy. Especially when you're isolated in your team, nobody wants you, and then a club like Barca or Real comes after you. His personal terms were almost settled. The only thing left was negotiating with Manchester about how the wages would be split between the two sides. Because the salary he was getting honestly was really high, over £300,000 a week. Rashford also knew that he had already been sidelined by Amorim. Amorim had publicly announced that he wasn't counting on Rashford, which paved the way for his departure. In other words, he made his position clear once and for all. Eventually, the player agreed to take a pay cut. They say it's about 15%, so the loan move can go through, and the club will have a purchase option of around 30 million euros at the end of the season. That option is optional for Barca, while Manchester wanted to make it mandatory. But Barca had more leverage. It seemed like they had the upper hand. Rashford arrived in Barcelona with his bags packed and only completed a few training sessions before heading off on the Asia Tour, which will be his first experience outside of English football and the first time he's pursuing his professional career away from home. But so far, he has shown that he has been completely successful. All the feedback has been positive, and it might even force Barca to actually pay that 30 million to Man United to buy him. And since Rashford never expected that, right from the start, due to the injuries of Rafinha and Lewandowski, he would become a regular starter for the team, especially in the Champions League match against Newcastle, where he scored that double and Barca won 2-1. That was the turning point of the story. It was even the highlight of his time at Barcelona.